no Victor Osimhen, and so it's a different setup. But then you look at the Egyptian setup. There's Mohamed Salah, there's Tracy Gueye, and there's also Mohamed.
Yes.
Mohamed. So the Egyptians they are complete.
They're complete.
In spite of that, Nigeria is still dominating Egypt. So how do you assess the Nigerian Super Eagles?
It certainly shows that Nigeria has some of Paris the best from the bench, from the first to the second, from the bench, from the first to the bench, and you could see that is even one-on-one on the pitch. Nigeria is doing better on terms of ball possession. The Egyptians are struggling to match up with the skills or pace of the Nigerian team. It's not that the Egyptians are faster, and because they are technically always North African side, So if we have that mentality of a tough player, a rough approach, you see that Nigeria can always beat the highest North African team. Talk of Senegal, talk of Morocco. Of course, you saw that we play Morocco, except the shootout. So Nigeria has the best of players today in terms of rating over the average North African team.
Okay, let's talk about Samuel Chukwueze. He missed the penalty yesterday, and in the semi-final match. And now the Super Eagles coach has decided to start Samuel Chukwueze in spite of that penalty miss. He's had a very good half. So what's your thought about that one?
Chukwueze, if you see him in this match, he seems to be upping his game. He's trying to let us know that he has that confidence of play.
Is he trying to make up for his penalty miss or something? It
appears, if you see the goal that was scored, he initiated it. And I want to see him recover fully from what happened yesterday. A lot of Nigerians were on his neck on what happened.
In the semi-finals match.
The semi-finals match. Yes,
on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. They were saying that he was so casual. And I think he should be able to use the opportunity of today to remedy what happened.
Okay, so let's look at the goal scored by Nigeria that was cancelled by Ako Adams. It came up from Chukwueze's end. Chukwueze had an opportunity. He tried to knock the ball in. If we cannot get a capture highlight of that match. But again, so let's talk about Ako Adams here. He's big, and then Paul Onachu also starting for Victor Osimhen here. Paul Onachu starting for Victor. Paul
Onachu has to be business-like. You see the ball that was crossed, and you have a three-man defense, always manning Paul Onachu. He should be business-like. A Victor Osimhen will lash that ball towards the goal end, good or bad. So Paul Onachu should be alive to his responsibility. He should always watch out for an incoming pass coming from nowhere. But here was a Paul Onachu just ball watching.
Don't you think that because he has not actually been playing regularly for the Super Eagles?
He should be match rusty because he's been on the bench.
For the Nigerian team, but he played regularly for his club.
Yeah, but he's been here on the bench for how many matches?
For Super Eagles.
Yes, and the coach has decided to field all of these bench warmers. I don't want to call them bench warmers. This
second 11.
Second 11, So Paul Onachu, like I said, should make use of his experience. If you see the defensive line overmarking, you pull them to the side.
Okay, so let's talk about this Super Eagles goal. By the way, if you're watching us in Port Harcourt, you can call us on 0803-477-6666, and that's our number, 0803-477-6666. So let's talk about the Super Eagles goal. It came from Bashiru. Bashiru is starting in place of Alex Iwobi. Ademola Lookman is also not starting. So it's a difference. Look at that goal there. Aqua Dams, beautiful goal for Nigeria here. But referee says there was an elbow leading to that goal.
I knew immediately we were going to see the VAR. I knew it was always going to be cancelled. As much as the player was on the ground, even if we didn't see a deliberate contact, we see the ball, we see the position of
the arm,
which the coach, Egyptian coach, Hassan was highlighting. We saw it. And once they are going into the room for the VAR, it was going to be difficult for that goal to start, because you see what Nigeria have passed through in this tournament. There has been a lot of
would you rather say a lock? Well, against Morocco, I think I wouldn't. I don't want to lie in that.
Yes,
officiating thing. Yes, I agree that the referee wasn't top notch, but But the Nigerian team also did not take their chances against Morocco. They didn't create much.
There were no clear chances you would say that we didn't take.
They didn't get chances.
They didn't get clear chances.
The 50-50 balls were not given to the Nigerian team.
Of course. And see, exactly. So we should let our coach should look at the front row. You see, they are overusing the position of the wing of Calvin Bassey, because we obviously know that Calvin Bassey.
But Calvin is not playing this match.
They know that since he's not here, that wing should be porous. If you see they are overrunning that wing, and we should man that wing, because they know that wing is going to be a possible breakthrough for the Egyptians. And then, like I said, the up front, Paul Onachu to do as much as pulling the defenders on the side if he cannot reposition himself, because they are always 3-man or 1-man attack.
So let's talk about Super Eagles attack. In the past, Eric Shelley has been working with Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, and Ako Adams. Today, he's working with Moses Simon, Paul Onachu, and Ako Adams. So it's just only Ako Adams is the starting line, a striker remaining. No Ademola Lookman, no Victor Osimhen, no Alex Iwobi. And so it's actually a new setup.
It's a good setup. You understand? You understand that Ako.
Okay, let's just confirm it. This is the starting lineup.
Okay.
We have today we are using Moses Simon, Paul Onachu, and Ako.
Okay.
In the past, it has always been Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman and Ako Adams.
You know how Ako plays. Ako plays deep into the middle and helps in the defense before he comes to operate into the attack. So I think he should step a bit forward, because we are too play defensive and we are holding slowly on the ball in our own half. You saw the ball that was lobbed that cost us that almost that goal. It was because there was a lob. Okay,
I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Raphael Onyedika retains his starting lineup.
Okay.
Wilfred Ndidi will have been fit to play this match, but Eric Chill decided to play Raphael instead of Wilfred Ndidi. And what was your thought about this?
I think he's going to be bringing in the fittest player of the bench in this half.
That's Victor Osimhen also on the bench.
Yeah. You see, Iwobi is on the bench. Iwobi is not injured, and why should he be on the bench? Because in this
he's trying Bashiru also.
Yeah, okay.
He's trying Bashiru. Bashiru is playing for Alex Iwobi. Moses Simon is playing for Ademola Lookman.
Yeah, you see, yes, Bashiru is doing well, but each time Bashiru cannot give those killer passes, because sometimes when you look up and you don't see your player, it's difficult for you to do the needful. So and Iwobi will know the best way position to drop a ball, but Bashiru is always looking down, playing that midfield.
Well, we will just say that their style of play quite different. Alex is more of a defensive player. Bashiru is more of an offensive kind. Even though Alex also gives killer passes also. So
I think they are going to come in this first half. In this second half, they're going to come in. The coach is going to bring 2-3 players in this second half, and for sure we need killer passes. We need runs, because they are not.
So who's going to give us those killer passes? There's no Alex Iwobi here.
We should have
maybe Bashiru can score, but I'm not sure about the passes.
Bashiru don't go. He doesn't go up front. Most times he's always deep in the middle, and that cannot give you a pass. If you see Afcon, that's why Afcon is always available. Because once progression makes into the other half, Afcon moves. He moves. He doesn't.
So who's going to play? Because right now you look at that Nigerian team, the 10. Yes. There's no Alex Iwobi. There's no Alex Iwobi. There's no Wilfred. Onyedika will have to do that job.
Yeah, we need a Onyedika that will be on the standby, on the standing.
But he's playing. Raphael.
Yeah, he don't need to move. We need to allow Afcon to release Afcon.
Afcon is a striker there.
Yeah, he need to move closer to Onachu, because Onachu is always being over caged. And like I said, you need to use experience. If they're overmarking you, what do? You run to the flanks. Take like Victor will always do. Take them to the side, and you now be 2-man on the right. Then that can give us a possible one-on-one play for a goal. But if we allow 2-3-man on the defense on Paul Onachu, and you want to give him a pass, he hardly cannot get it, because he's not as skillful on the head like Victor, even if he's taller than Victor.
All right, we'll take some commercial break, and we're waiting for signals from Casablanca for the second half of that match between Nigeria and Egypt, a third place match in the African Cup of Nations, Egypt in Morocco 2025.
Over the years, Carlos Miller has connected businesses, families, friends to a common goal of success, happiness, and dreams come through. Today, we're still doing that with our branches spread across Nigeria. Now in FOT Roundabout, Onne. Call 091-628-56888 to keep your originality with Techno, Infinix, Samsung, Nokia, Oppo, Vivo, U-Lesson tablets, gadgets, phones repairs, and maintenance. Purchase online at www.carlosmiller.com or visit our store close to you. Head office, Carlos Miller Junction, Okboro Road, Aba Road, Artillery, Port Harcourt. Remember, you can buy any phone of your choice and pay installmentally. We have added services for your satisfaction like SIM registration, NIN enrollment, Wi-Fi activation, recharge cards, and VTU. Call 080-639-73555. Carlos Miller.
Why worry for food and power when Sally and Company Limited is here? We provide power for everyday activities, sound and weatherproof generators of different brands, transformers of different sizes, and solar engine. Sally ensures food production to Nigerians with agricultural tractors, rice harvesters, tipping trailers, and more. Get your construction equipment, concrete mixers, water pumps, compactors, dumpers nationwide. In Port Harcourt, 71 Aba Road, Garrison Junction, Port Harcourt. Enquiries 081 5556 5556 080 38500 471.
Yes, this is Sally and Company Limited.
Sally, your energy, construction, and agricultural partner for life.
I want to flex my love.
We're about to kick off for the second half of that match, Nigeria versus Egypt. What to expect, my friend and my brother?
An intensive game. You see, the two countries, Egypt, Nigeria, want to take the bronze. It's a golden bronze, and
is this really a golden bronze?
It's really a golden bronze.
Nigeria fighting for bronze.
Yes, I don't know who's hungrier this time around. I think the Egyptians look a bit hungrier now, but looking at what we got, what we've done.
We're taking more chances than Egypt.
Yeah, we're taking more chances.
Okay, let's join the match.
Okay,
we'll come back after the match to talk about this match.
Calvin Bessie unavailable today through suspension.
If you want the bronze, just go all out. It have to end in after 90 minutes. Straight to penalty, so just go for it.
Salah with a big hoof into the middle of the park. Chukwueze takes it. Akor. Good strong challenge from Rabia, but the Nigerians pushing forward, beginning the second half here as they began the first on the front foot. This might be a chance. Out comes Shobir. Simon was looking to get a foot in there, but the goalkeeper quickly off his line.
Yeah, quickly off his line. That's a good touch from Lukman. The ball came in and he knew he couldn't control that ball, and he had one quick touch. But unfortunately, the goalkeeper was right there.
Egypt with only 2 wins in 9 matches in Cup of Nations finals history against Nigeria. 3 draws, 4 losses. This is one of the more frequent fixtures that you will find in the history of this tournament. 10th time these two countries are up against each other. The most common game is Côte d'Ivoire against Egypt. 12 times they've played. Most famously 2006 in the final in Cairo, penalties deciding the title in favor of hosts Egypt.
That's the penalty that made have that African Cup in his cabinet. the next year edition.
Remember he missed the penalty in the final against Zambia 2012. Before they got to penalties, and then he took the first penalty. I thought, and then he took the first penalty. I thought very bravely, and put players who have both Premier League and Serie A, and players who have both Premier League and Serie A in common. Both Premier League and Serie A in common. Lookman these days with Atalanta, of course, and as Daniel mentioned, there's Chukwueze moving from Milan to Fulham.